Scruffy Audio Network.
Are you ready to do this thing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't like the way I sound. What is going on?
Nobody likes the way you sound, but you know what are we going to do about it at this point?
How do I look, though?
35.
Do you like the way I look?
Yeah, of course. We're 35 podcasts in, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Best 35 podcast of your life.
Hey, welcome to Why Would You Go There, podcast about travel. I am Troy here with my friend Lee, and we are talking today about. Well, let me back up.
I'm Lee.
Yeah, you're Lee.
Isn't that how we normally do it? I introduce myself?
Yeah, introduce
yourself. Okay, thanks. No, forget it. You already botched that.
I'm calling this Why Would You Go There 2.0 because we just had a huge meeting, and by we, I mean me and other podcasters, not you, because you were out of the state.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, had a huge
I was traveling.
conversation.
I was experiencing
Ben, the producer,
for our podcast.
Paul, the guy from RLation, also the producer, owner, whatever his title is. I don't know, Scruffy Audio Network. We had a big conversation about how are we going to get the podcast better because you guys suck. That's not what they said, but it's what they meant.
Yeah. Which is why I was left out of that, because clearly I don't need to improve.
Yeah, well, I think what was mentioned was some phrasing of how are we going to drag Lee along. Anyway,
carry me.
Why would you go there? 2.0. It's going to be a little different from now on, and by a little different, I mean not very different at all, because we are awesome. No matter what other people say, but we're going to have the occasional guest on. We're going to be doing some more things, and one of the things we're going to start right now is we'd like to have folks send us their favorite places about this podcast, and we'll read them next time we podcast. We'll start out, maybe we'll play, if you send us a Facebook message and you record it, we'll play that recording and answer the question, as long as it's not graphic in language.
Since when do you care about graphic? Maybe language. Okay.
No matter what you say, we will play it. And so visit us, send us messages on Twitter, Why Would You Go?
Yeah.
And how many followers do we have now?
We're probably close to 2,100.
Oh, man, that is great. You are doing a phenomenal job at that.
Thank you.
And our 162 Instagram followers, please send us something. And then Facebook, you can send us Facebook messages. Yeah. So any of those messages, send recordings of your comments or basically your questions is the most interesting. And then we want to answer those on the next podcast.
Yeah, we do. Kind of.
So we've told people how they can find us, right? Why would you go there? Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
Why would you go on Twitter? So what are we talking about today?
Yeah. So we are talking about, my favorite place in the U.S.
Is this your favorite place in the U.S.?
It is my favorite place in the U.S.
We have established that.
Viva
Las Vegas, baby. Yeah, we're so if you're a regular listener, you know that we've done Vegas before, but there's so much there.
If you're not, then you need to be.
Yeah.
What's your problem?
There's so much there that you can talk about it more than once. And what prompted this one? Tell them why we're doing it right now.
I'm not sure. Why are we doing it right now?
Because we just got back from Vegas.
Oh, okay. That was, good segue. Sorry, I wasn't following you there. We probably talked about that in our meeting that I missed, actually.
Yeah, of course.
Last week.
Yeah, so we just got back from Vegas. We posted some things on social media while we were in Vegas, right there live, but we're also going to go back and post some pictures of this crazy trip that four buddies took. Me, you, Walden, and Troy did this trip to Vegas, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It really was a great trip.
It was a terrific trip.
Yeah, terrific is not even a good enough word for it.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
It was a terrifically great trip.
Okay. Now you're getting there. And today we're just going to talk about hotels.
Could it have been any
restaurants.
better, honestly? I mean,
the only way it could have been better is if I had brought back more money, because we both brought back more money than we took.
No doubt.
I brought back all the money that I took, plus some of Vegas's money that I left there the last couple trips I'd been.
so
true. I was pretty thrilled about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I had I think it was my second most successful Vegas trip, so that's pretty good in terms of making money. Making money, whatever. Winning money.
Yeah, winning money.
But yeah, it started off so good because as soon as we got to Vegas and got to our hotel, we figured out, am I jumping into it?
No, jump right in.
We got upgraded to a awesome suite.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, an incredible suite. 1,600 square feet. And it was just like multiple rooms. It had 2 separate bedrooms. It had a whole living area. I mean,
that was
huge.
the best Motel 6 ever.
Yeah. We had the whole bottom floor. The parking garage.
So seriously.
No.
So we may as well jump in right by talking about the Cosmopolitan because that's where we stayed.
Yeah.
And
great hotel.
Yeah, it is a great hotel. Very modern.
Yes,
looking.
very modern.
Yeah.
It's kind of eccentric.
Yeah, sleek.
Yeah. I don't know a better way to put it, but yeah, I mean, it has a huge red high heel shoe that's like.
Oh, we're gonna post a picture of me in that shoe.
Yes,
yeah.
Of course you were. Yeah. I mean, it's like 8 feet tall, right, or something like that.
Yeah, they have all these random things all over the place. Like when you go to check in, they have these huge columns that are like LED lit up columns, and they have random scenes that are projected on there from inside the column. And I mean, this column's like 6 or 8 feet wide.
Yeah.
On each side, and like they'll have shadows of people dancing, or they have books. And all through the place, it looks like it's a library. So it's just kind of weird how they change everything up.
I mean, it is so modern, and it's so eccentric is a good word, and it's trippy. I mean, it is a trippy hotel, but in a good way. I mean, it's a cool hotel.
Yeah, it is. It is my favorite hotel in Vegas.
I can 100% see that.
It's just so interesting, and the rooms were great. And you touched on a
flamboyant.
minute. Yes, and is there a problem with that?
No,
you touched on it a minute ago.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
The fact that we got upgraded. So all the rooms in that hotel are great anyway. All the rooms. By that I've stayed there twice, so I don't know all the rooms, but
all 2 rooms.
All 2 rooms that I've seen are awesome. Yeah. But we got upgraded to a suite.
Yeah, we did.
So, oh man, and you and I we're in 2 different suites, and we had rooms that were overlooking the Bellagio fountains.
Oh my gosh!
And the strip and everything.
That's one of my favorite things. I mean, I have no idea why. I just think that thing is so cool. And literally, I just stare out the window, when it was evening, and I just kind of watch one of those fountain shows, Bellagio fountain shows. And, they're usually there 3 or 4 minutes, and then another one would come on like 15 minutes later, and I'd be like, okay, I hear it going. Let me go ahead and go out there and listen again or watch it again. So it was awesome. And, we were high up too, right? I mean, I was in like the 39th floor or something like that. You were 30th. Yeah. So you got lost one time and went to the wrong room, so that was hilarious. Was I supposed to say that?
Okay. Not only did I get lost, I'm sharing a room with Walton. We both got lost, walk all the way down this long hallway to get into our room, and he tries to use his player card to get into the room. So after the second time of doing that, I'm like, yeah, you're an idiot. And I take out my card, and it doesn't open the room door either. And then we both realize, yeah, they're calling security right now. They've looked at the people, and they've seen these 2 guys in the middle of the night stagger to their door and try to get in on the wrong floor. So that was fun.
Were you guys That didn't have anything to do with it, right? You weren't having.
No, I wasn't. I didn't get.
I don't remember
to where
that.
I was. Seriously, I didn't get to where I was staggering there at all.
Yeah,
and it's surprising because the alcohol is free while you're playing. Yeah. It is anything but free when you're not playing. We found that out. I bought 4 drinks for $85, but it's free when you're playing. But the thing is, I wanted to make sure that I had my wits about me. So I would not have more than a drink every hour or so while we were playing. And I'm glad that I did. So that's a new philosophy for me with gambling, and it turned out good because I won money.
That's a good philosophy.
So do you want to talk about the different hotels and the restaurants that are in them, or how do you want to do this? Okay, so let's talk about the Cosmopolitan since we're on it, and since it's my favorite, and then we'll talk about your favorite.
So you start, because I've got several that I want to talk about, and I'll try to make them brief, but I've stated a bunch. So you talk about the Cosmopolitan and what you love. And
okay, so as far as restaurants go in the Cosmopolitan, Rose Rabbit Lie is one of their big kind of
what is it called?
Rose Rabbit Lie, kind of fine dining restaurant. And that is one that has it has two different rooms. One of them's like a library, and the other one's like a jazz club.
Oh,
and
cool.
my wife and I ate in the library section. When we were there, we walked through the jazz club a couple times, but it's set just like a library. I mean, it's kind of like Peter Kern down here, and it's got. You get served regular meal, fine dining meals in there. It was really pretty good.
Cool.
We had steak tartare for the first time there. We had it since.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty good. But it's number 8 on TripAdvisor. I always like to get my TripAdvisor.
Yeah, you do.
And that number 38. I said number 8, didn't I?
You did.
It's number 38. But there are so many good restaurants in Vegas.
My goodness.
Let me tell you, Ruth's Chris is number 45, and Spago by Wolfgang Puck
Wow.
is number 54. So 38 is pretty dang good.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's crazy how all those restaurants stay in business because they are everywhere. And
They're all super expensive.
Yes, they're all incredibly nice. I mean, and there's so many different varieties, of course, but yeah, they still stay in
And there's
business.
always people in them.
There is.
And they're always spending money.
No doubt.
And like every major chef around the world, every celebrity chef
Oh, gosh,
has one in Vegas, has a restaurant in Vegas.
If you want to Google them, I mean, you'll find them. They're throughout certain casinos.
Yeah, we didn't
hotels,
eat in any of
whatever.
these, but we counted 5 Gordon Ramsay restaurants in
That's
Vegas as we were just walking
we
around.
walked past. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
But also in speaking of celebrity chefs, Chris Santos, who is on Chopped and he does a lot of Food TV, Food Network shows. He has a restaurant there called Beauty in Essex, and I've eaten in there, and it's everything that you'd think it would be. It's really kind of cool.
Nice.
The start of it, at the front of it, is a pawn shop, and you walk through the pawn shop. It's just a fake pawn shop, but I say it's fake, and you can buy anything in there. They do not have the pawn shop guys from
Pawn
whatever that
Stars
Pawn
or
Stars
whatever.
show.
Yeah.
There, they have actually pretty nice looking ladies manning it, and then you walk through.
Womaning it.
Yeah, exactly.
You sexist.
You're an idiot. So that's another restaurant. Then they have a bunch of maybe not quite fine dining, but pretty good restaurants. We ate at Hattie B's. They have a Nashville chicken there. Hattie B's Nashville hot chicken.
Hot chicken.
Yeah, we ate some hot chicken there. I made the mistake of getting medium,
Oh,
and I
man.
cried my whole way through it.
Yeah, well, I'm a wimp. I got
yeah.
the mild, and I cried my way through it too.
Yeah,
So.
medium was tough. And then they have you ate at something new, egg slut.
Oh gosh,
How was the egg slut?
It was expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine, but I'm not a huge breakfast person. So if you're asking me to try to promote it, I'm probably not going to do that. It was like the food was good. I enjoyed it, but it's not anywhere I really have to go back or anything. But it's still a good place if you want to eat some breakfast food.
They have
items.
a whole, just a whole.
I'd never
section
heard of it.
of
Yeah, but
restaurants.
that's literally what it was called. And I thought it was a joke when they were saying we're going to go there. And of course, we get there and I see the sign. And I was like, oh, they actually meant excellent. That's
Excellent,
exactly
what
what it is.
Yeah.
Weird.
But it's good. That's the second time I've eaten
it was
good. So why don't you talk about the next hotel? So that's basically the Cosmopolitan. We can talk about gambling if you want to talk about that. We can talk about how we walked away with a bunch of their money if you want to talk about that.
Yeah. I don't like to brag too much, but we walked away with some money.
Yeah, we walked out with some cash.
But yeah, no, I kind of want to just go over. So first of all, how do you want me to do it? I think I just want to name like all the ones that I've stayed at, or do you hate that idea?
Do it.
Okay. So I've stayed at a bunch of Las Vegas hotels because I'm the type of person that
I didn't do that, but you do it.
Yeah. I like to stay at different places just to kind of get different views and vantage points of whatever, just to kind of experience everything. So even if I'm there 4 days, sometimes I may stay at one place 2 days, another place another 2 days. So you can feel free to stop me any point of these, but I'll kind of talk about them very briefly. But we stayed at Planet Hollywood. It's kind of a party place. It's got the Miracle Mile shop.
Is it the Carnival of like Carnival cruise ship of Vegas?
I don't think it's that bad. I think it's still nice. I mean, I think it's kind of like an upscale kind of party place, if that makes sense. I don't think it's and not that I'm saying that Carnival's not upscale or anything like that, but I don't think it's like bananas. But you walk in there and in the casino there's like cages and stuff for females dancing and stuff while you're
Why do
gambling.
I not know about this place? I have never. Oh man, why didn't you tell me that when we get back?
I don't know how often they do it. They might just do it like on the weekends or something like that. But yeah, sorry.
I'm so disappointed right now.
Yeah, I was just trying to make you stay good while you're out there. You're
Yeah.
welcome. But it is. It's kind of crazy. It's one of those places that you're not really going to. I mean, it's just so loud in there. They're playing music and stuff while you're on the casino floor.
Yeah,
so it's
I do
kind
not
of a
like the
party.
noise. Yeah, I don't like
it's
the noise.
it is a party there. I mean, it's definitely the party place in my
Yeah, my
opinion.
old man will start showing. Like, can y'all turn this down?
This is so true. Yeah. So I like that one for sure. Caesar's Palace. I know you love Caesar's Palace.
I
Because
really
it
do.
brings back the history
Yeah,
of
that's why.
Vegas and your
All about it.
Rat Pack peeps.
Yeah. Love Caesar's Palace
Yeah.
and cheap crap stables.
That, yeah. So I'll tell you, I like the hotel itself, but it's another place that's very elegant, but I stayed there and the check-in was atrocious. I mean, it took forever. You know, check-in time in Vegas is like 3 or 4 o'clock. So when you go check in somewhere, you're going to have 20 different people checking you in or whatever. They had like 4 people checking people
Yeah, when
in.
we walked through there this time, there was a ton of people in their lobby.
I would say that got remedied, but it was terrible the one time that I did it. And the walls were a little bit thin, so you could hear people like opening their doors and, you know, if they were talking down the hall, so that kind of thing. But it's still a really nice hotel. I love their sports book. So if you're like a sports person, a gambling person, not a gambling person, but a person that likes to watch sports and gamble on the sports, that's a good place to go. Anything else you want to?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a ton of TVs in there, which most of the places do, but yeah.
So the Mirage is a really nice hotel. It's got that volcano that we saw.
Yeah, I specifically wrote that down. I wanted to
Okay.
ask you about that because I did post something about the volcano. And when we were talking there, you said the Mirage is a great value hotel.
It definitely is, and that's actually what I was going to say. So to me, it is, you know, there's a lot of these hotels, probably like the Cosmopolitan, you know, we'll talk about the Bellagio and some of these, the Venetian. A lot of those are a little bit more expensive, but they're super, super nice. The Mirage is just like a half step below as far as nice, but it's still
Right.
really nice. But the price is like a good step below. I mean, it I would say value wise, the times that I've looked, it's probably the best money that, you know, for value wise that you're going to get. So I would definitely recommend staying there. It has a really nice pool also if you're into that. Of course, there's a lot of hotels that
Is
have,
it rooftop?
It is not rooftop.
It's not? Okay.
No. I mean, there may be one, you know, for the high rollers that stay up there, but no.
Because the
it's a normal
Cosmopolitan has a
pool.
rooftop pool, and
Yeah.
it's pretty nice.
They have like 2 or 3 pools, right?
Yeah.
I think. Of course, it was cold, so we didn't go there, but we still should have walked out and tried to see him. I stayed at the Excalibur, which is the one that looks like a castle. By the way, going back to the Mirage, if you haven't watched that volcano show, it's usually like every hour after dark, I think. You look it up, but it's worth seeing. It's pretty
Yeah,
fun.
it was on the hour when we were there.
Yeah.
And it lasted probably 7 minutes or something like that. And it was real. You can feel the heat coming off.
Yeah.
And you're way back.
Yeah.
You know, the sidewalk is pretty far ways back from the actual volcano. And yeah, it was very cool. That's the thing about Vegas. It's like Times Square intensified
Yeah.
and bigger.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you know, you go to all these shows, but then you sometimes don't even see like the Mirage Volcano show or the Bellagio Fountain show. And to me, those are like little bitty shows in themselves. Yeah, they're only like 5 or 10 minutes a lot of times, but they're definitely worth seeing.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
you know, you need to go there. And they're free, which is always great. But the Excalibur, that's the one that looks like a castle.
Right.
It's kind of older. It
looks
probably
pretty
one.
rough.
Yeah, it's probably if you know, money wise, it's going to be the cheapest one probably, but you're going to get what you pay for there. And then the Luxor and the MGM Grand, they're at the end. The Luxor is the pyramid one, and you know, I think everybody knows what the MGM Grand is. Those are both super nice hotels. They're kind of on the more affordable end. I don't think they're quite as nice as Mirage, but they're close to it. But the problem with them is they're at the very end.
Right.
So to get to stuff, you got to walk a long way.
Or you can get on that monorail, which
That's
we didn't
true.
even do this time. We just walked everywhere.
Yeah,
but
we
they
did.
do have a monorail system.
We liked our we tried to work off our exercise, from the
All the food we ate,
Yeah,
yeah. I think we walked 25 miles.
We didn't even talk about the Cosmopolitan, the buffet that we ate there, the
Oh,
Wicked
yeah.
Spoon.
Oh, yeah, the Wicked Spoon
Were you going to
buffet.
talk about that?
I was, but then I forgot, and
Okay.
it's fine. We can go back to it. Yeah, that is, I cannot think of a better buffet. That was the best buffet that I can remember having.
So I've had several out there, and I think it was probably the best that I've had too. There were others that are close, but not. I mean, that one was just so good. And
The best part of it was that we got there and we were still on East Coast time. So at 4:30, that's like 7:30, and we're
Yeah.
ready to eat.
Yeah.
So at 4:30, it's still brunch price.
Yes.
So we got it for $20, and we just ate a little bit. And then by brunch, everything's out but the seafood.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we ate regular dinner food and then just hung out in there until 5 when they put
Yeah.
the seafood out, and then ate a bunch of seafood.
If you're wanting to save money in Vegas and eat at a pretty decent place, some of the buffets you may not know what you're getting, but you know what you're getting there, and it's going to be worth every penny. So I would highly suggest that. That's a
Yeah,
that was
is
a
good
gem for us.
That was a
to
gem
find.
because again, $20 a piece, and then if you show up at 4:45,
yeah,
all right, it's $20. If you show up at 5, it's $45 or
Yeah.
$44.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
big
kind of
difference.
crazy. So definitely recommend that. And we're not always huge buffet fans, but man, it was worth every penny.
it was good.
Great.
It was quality.
So moving along to one of my favorite hotels out there is the Bellagio. Where we talked about the fountains.
Yes.
It's got a really nice pool area. They have that conservatory that always has something, specific to, I think, the time of year.
Yeah, it was like Chinese New Year or something.
Yeah,
this time.
This time it was. Yeah, so it changes. I don't know how often it changes. If it changes monthly or every few months or whatnot, but they always have an incredible display, and I would always recommend seeing that. My wife, that's one of her favorite things to do is just to walk over there and see what's going on. But it's a super nice hotel, and they've got a really nice pool.
Now, what I wouldn't recommend in there is what?
We did eat at the buffet.
Oh my gosh, that cured us on buffet eating right there.
So what's crazy is I've been to that one probably 3 or 4 times, and back in the heyday, it was so good. It was great. Not this time. It was not great at all. And
The service was terrible.
the service. You had to get your own drinks too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably not a bad thing sometimes, but if I pay for service, I want service.
So you tipped, and the tip involved nothing except they were going to pick up your plate.
Yeah. After it sat there for a long time.
Yeah. So it was there was a couple times that I had to find somebody when I'm going to go back to the buffet again. I got to find somebody to take this plate with these bones on it. They won't come by. Yeah, it was really poor service, and the food just was not the quality that it was at Wicked Spoon. So, and that's surprising because that is a really nice hotel.
It's probably my favorite hotel
it's really
out there.
nice.
I mean, it is the elegant classic hotel, I think. I mean, like we said, Cosmopolitan's kind of a little bit more out there, I think, and it appeals in a different way, but this is kind of like almost old school elegant. Like,
I haven't stayed in the Bellagio, but before this trip, if you were to ask me which hotel just from walking around do I like better, I probably would have said the Bellagio, but I was so spoiled by that buffet that I'm like, okay, it is not on my list anymore.
I can understand that, but I still want to recommend it. Just stay away from the buffet.
Just don't go to the buffet.
But it
And
also has...
They have great restaurants in there.
They do. I was going to mention one. Le Church. I mean, it's expensive, but man, it is so good. It's got a French, gosh, I can't remember the type of twist that it has on it.
It's like French modern fine dining.
But it was so good. So I would recommend that, but bring your wallet.
Yeah, it's
if
expensive.
you go. And then that's a lot of places there, but it's Le Church, but it's actually spelled like Le Cirque. So if you see it, so it's
and it's Le Church because you know somebody that works there or used to work there.
Yeah. And then again, I'm kind of taking a long time, but
do it.
The Venetian, it's another one that's gorgeous. It's got the Grand Canal shops. It's made after Venice, Venetian, obviously.
It's got the canal in the middle of it.
Italy, yes.
Yeah, you can take a canal ride.
I know. One of those gondolas. You can just float through, and so that's pretty cool. But it's gorgeous. I mean, we stayed there once, and it had a really big room, a really nice room.
Yeah.
That's another one that's kind of almost old school, elegant. Maybe not as
It's almost like a cross between Bellagio and the Cosmopolitan, because it's old school, elegant, but it's a little bit modern.
I agree
when we
with
stayed
that.
there, we had a really nice exterior facing room that had just a big glass enclosed shower, and that shower was, I mean, it was as big as a room.
Yeah. But it's super nice, and they've got the Grand Canal shops. So if you like the shopping, I mean, all these places have shops.
Yeah, lots of expensive shops.
Yeah, for sure. But
it's cool because, you know, any of these places that we've talked about, really, you can go, and I would not go myself and not leave the hotel, but you could go and not leave the hotel complex, because there's shops there's gambling, there are all kinds of restaurants. They all have great restaurants, not the Excalibur, but all the rest of the places have great restaurants, and, you know, you could just stay there the whole time. Of course, I'm going to want to walk around and see everything.
Yeah, I mean, we love that. You know, we love exploring, just walking around and seeing the different hotels, and that's what's great about Vegas. You know, you get to one hotel and you feel like you're in a whole different world almost, because one of them is mimicked after Venice, Italy, you know, and another one is after Cairo, Egypt, or whatever, you know, and just different stuff. But the Venetian was great. The Wynn is similar, I think. It's got that waterfall that we saw, and it has...
I posted something on that.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, that is the one to me that is the most intriguing of places that I've walked through and haven't stayed. And I really want to go and try to stay at the Wynn at some point, because it looks almost whimsical elegant.
Yeah, it's incredibly correct. I mean, that is...
Yeah, they have a big arbor kind of in the middle of it, and they have a merry-go-round with all these horses made out of flowers, and they have all these live flowers everywhere. It's almost like the Bellagio, but it's just a little more whimsical, I think, than the Bellagio.
I love the whimsical word, because I think that does describe it to a T. That's perfect, and it is every bit that we say it is. And I mean, I like it. I would put it right there with the Bellagio too.
It looks really nice too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. And we stayed there, and it was really nice.
Oh, really? So you have stayed there?
Yeah. And you know, they have two different hotels or whatever that are kind of connected, the Wynn and the Encore, and we stayed at the Wynn. But man, it's another one that's so nice, and the pool is really nice. I mean, again, it's just... And
we saw that waterfall show, which I had not seen before.
Yeah.
And basically, I don't know how often, but after dark they have a big waterfall out there, and then they just turn the waterfall off, and the background for the waterfall becomes the canvas for some projection.
Yeah, it's like a little scene.
It's like a little butterfly scene.
Yeah, it was so cool. But I didn't know that either. You know, when I was there, it was just... It was just a waterfall, and it was on all the time,
right? Which
was still awesome. But then you throw in a little show kind of after dark, and we just timed it just perfect. I mean, literally couldn't have been any more perfect. If we'd have got there probably 3 or 4 minutes sooner, we probably would have missed it, because we'd have probably said, okay, we've seen enough of this. But we timed it perfect, so that was great. So if you're there, look that up and figure out what time
very
it is.
romantic for 4 guys to go watch that in the dark.
It was fun. And then we all, you know, got in our bathing suits and swam in the water. Just kidding.
That's not what happened.
That is not at all. But yeah, so I'm almost done with the hotels here, but I wanted to mention kind of one last one. It's off the beaten path, and that's the kind of the thing about the Wynn, is it just seems like it's just a little bit further away from a lot of the stuff. So I think that's an appeal, but I also think that's also not an appeal.
Yeah, but it's on the same road.
It is, but it's not like right in the middle, like where the Cosmopolitan is, or maybe the Venetian is, or something like that. So, but it's still very worth it.
It's walkable.
Yeah. So the other one that's kind of down at the very end is Mandalay Bay, and man, I love it. That's another one that's
I've not been inside there.
It is great. I mean, it is another one that has that old school, elegant feel, and it's just everything is so beautiful, but it's just a simple beautiful. It's not like there's not anything over the top or anything like that. But so the rooms, everything are nice itself. I don't like that it's far away from everything, but it's also quiet too. So that is an appeal
For
on
some
its
folks,
own.
sure.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, the main reason I wanted to bring it up is because of its pool. You'd be surprised. Some people go to Vegas just for pool. It's probably got the best pool. It has a lazy river that goes into it in a circle.
I've heard about that. I think you've told me about that.
Yeah, I probably have because I love it. And then it has a wave pool where you're in this pool that's just like a normal pool, and then all of a sudden you hear an alarm and it goes off, and then it just starts. There's just waves, so that's kind of cool in itself. I mean, I don't mean like waves like you can surf or anything that.
But Splash Country or one of those types of things. Except the whole thing is it's in a hotel.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I mean, if you have kids, what more could you ask for than a lazy river and a wave pool? And then it has actually.
Well, you could ask to not take your kids to Vegas, Sin City, if you have kids.
But if you want to keep them occupied, there you go. But
you could just take them over to Planet Hollywood and let them watch the girls in the cages.
So true, you could. But it also has a beach too. It actually has sand.
Oh,
so
wow.
How cool is that?
The one at the top of the Cosmopolitan, I think, has sand too.
Oh, really?
I think it's got sand. Yeah, Georgette and I ate up there because they have they have a pretty nice restaurant for a beach restaurant.
Yeah.
Up there, and we ate up there and just kind of watched folks sunbathing and whatever.
Yeah.
Like the pervs that we are.
Yes. Yeah. Did you really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. But there is, it's crazy that you can sunbathe in Vegas, know? I mean, right. So, but that's what's crazy about the place is there's just so many different pools and they just appeal for different reasons, different ways. There's some like the Venetian, the MGM Grand, or the Hard Rock that are known more as like the party pools. And then there's one in downtown Las Vegas, the Golden Nugget, that's basically a fish tank. I mean, it's a pool, but there's a fish not in the pool with you, but like you can look through a wall and see sharks and stuff because they're kind of in the same general area.
Oh, so there's just some kind of glass enclosure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yep.
That's kind of neat.
So yeah.
Have you been to there? You been to that pool?
I have
seen it,
but I've not swam in it.
Okay.
Yes. And apparently they have a slide that you can slide down to, so it kind of goes through like the area where the other fish and sharks and stuff are.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's probably a kid-friendly pool, but I know how you feel about downtown. I like downtown. So I've talked a lot about the hotel, so I'm going to try to stop talking. But
no, don't stop. Tell me about Paris, which is another one of those places that I kind of like.
Yeah, so I didn't actually stay there, but we've walked through there a few times. You and I walked through there with Troy and Walden, and I like it. I like the Eiffel Tower. We had a great breakfast there.
That was at Mon Ami Gabi.
Yeah.
If that's how you say it. Let's pretend it is.
Sounds like it. Can you get macaroons there?
You can get macarons. You might be able to get macaroons also, but you can definitely get macarons.
Okay.
But
what did I order? Because I'm not a huge breakfast person. Do you remember or no?
Yeah, you ordered eggs Benedict.
Okay.
Actually, we all ordered eggs Benedict.
Okay.
Three of us, the four of us did.
Yeah.
And it was a great breakfast. It's eggs Benedict.
I'm not a huge breakfast person, so I've never had eggs Benedict because, again, I'm not a huge breakfast person, so I'm not even going to eat eggs in general, much less eggs Benedict. And I was blown away. It was so good.
It was the best eggs Benedict I've ever had.
It was definitely the best I've ever had.
The hash browns were crispy. It was just so good. And then we had a waiter who was a nice guy, and he had connections to UT football.
Yes.
So we just talked, which is random. So we just talked about that a little bit.
So he had a cousin, I think, that played at the University of Tennessee, and he was a good player too. So that was kind of cool. That just randomly we figured that out amongst talking to him. So yeah, but I that place I would highly recommend. For
the
breakfast.
Restaurant for sure. So I haven't stayed at the Paris, but it's one of the things I like about Vegas is when you go hotel to hotel, you're going to see different things, and the Cosmopolitan, we said just sheer elegance, and then whimsical for the whim, and then old school elegance for the Bellagio.
Yeah.
So the Paris is it called the Paris?
It is.
Okay. It is.
I think it's Paris Las Vegas, but yeah.
Paris Las Vegas. It is so much like what you would think Paris is
Yeah.
as far as when you're walking through the streets and everything, because it's got these cobblestone streets and it's not dirty, but it's made to look a little dirty.
Well, it's funny because you say streets, but literally we're in the casino just walking through, and it's, they make it out to streets.
Yeah.
It looks and feels like streets, but really it's.
And the Eiffel Tower goes right through it. There's a big section of the Eiffel Tower that's right in the Paris Hotel,
It's so
right
cool.
in the lobby.
You can see the legs and stuff.
Yeah,
and you can go on top of it.
And it's so funny, but it reminds me so much of Paris. It just looks dirty.
Yeah.
But I know it's not dirty.
Yeah. It was, I mean, they mimic stuff so well out there. I mean, that's what's great about Las Vegas. So I've stayed at all those hotels. I mean, there's tons of other ones that I haven't even mentioned. I did stay at Bally's too, but each one has their own unique flavor. And, you can go and then you can explore some of them and figure out where you want to go next time. There's the Paris, there's,
we didn't even mention the Aria.
Yeah,
another
Aria,
great looking hotel.
It's a place.
It's like
I would love to stay there.
It looks to me like Cosmopolitan light, and just not quite as expensive. But but
it's very modern. Yep. Also, it's probably not as flamboyant. Again, I don't know if that's the right.
That's a great word.
Right word for it, but it's very chic.
Sleek. Yep, sleek and chic.
Yeah. And
sleek
I want to stay
and chic
there.
And sleek.
Yes.
And chic.
Slick.
And slick.
But,
we better watch what we're saying.
Yeah.
It's going to go bad.
I really liked the Aria. And, one thing I didn't know is Vidara, if that's how you say it, Vdara. I walked through there and I liked it. And I was like, oh, this place is kind of cool. It had no casino in there. I had no idea.
Is that connected
it's
to
right
Aria?
Beside it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So just FYI. But yeah, there's the Treasure Island, there's the Flamingo. I mean, like,
what about New York?
I've not stayed there. I stayed at the Monte Carlo, which was right beside it, or Monte Carlo. But I've walked through New York, and it looks pretty cool. It's kind of got, the skyline of New York in there, so that's awesome. And it's got a roller coaster too. I mean, again, Vegas has everything, but you can ride a roller coaster just randomly. I had a friend tell me that he would go win money, and if he'd go win money, then he'd go ride the roller coaster. So if he lost money, he wouldn't go ride the roller coaster.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. So, but there's just something that appeals for everyone. But then there's a Harrah's, that we like to go to, not out there, but different places. And if you sign up for like a player's card, a lot of times they're going to send you cheap or reasonable or even free nights at some of these hotels. So I'd recommend that. But it's great because you go and you see these different hotels, and then you're like, okay, I could stay at that one next time. I'm going to look it up and see how much it is.
Yeah, I am definitely going to do that with the Wynn just because it looks so good.
Yeah.
Any other hotels you want to mention? You've only talked really about stuff on the Strip other than the Golden Nugget.
So, I won't mention a whole lot in the old Las Vegas, the old downtown area, because I know you're going to just berate it.
Well, it's trash.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. But I stayed at the Main Street Station down there in Fremont Street. Then Binion's, that's historic because it used to be where the World Series of Poker used to be all the time before it got big, and now it's all over the place.
When you check in there, do they give you a bottle of penicillin right then?
Oh my gosh! Listen, downtown is cool. Get off it. You guys should go see it. It's got an awesome light show.
You should go see it. All right.
Yeah, it's cool. But I will talk about the Hard Rock and the Palms and the Rio just briefly, just because those three are not on the Strip, and same for Green Valley Ranch and Red Rock Casino. They're a little bit further out. Those are like really more local hotels. They're Green Valley Ranch and Red Rock Casino. But I've been to both of those. And those are both really cool. But the Hard Rock and Palms, again, that's another thing that it's off the Strip. But if you like that, then
if you want a little
they're still
quieter.
A great place to stay. So I all those are great. And then I stayed at the Orleans, which is off the Strip too. It's like New Orleans, which is your favorite place.
Yeah, I bet it doesn't stink nearly as bad as New Orleans. I bet that I could probably deal with that. It's kind of like I can deal with the Paris Hotel instead of Paris.
Yeah. But those are kind of all the hotels. I mean, there's definitely other ones. There's plenty of other ones, but I've stayed at quite a few of them, and they're all great. I mean, they all have their own flavor, their own thing to to make you want to go there and to like them. So what else do you want to talk about?
Well, I think we're pretty close to being able to wrap this thing up. I do want to talk about food a little bit. We've kind of brushed on food in all these hotels.
Yeah.
We mentioned earlier about all the celebrity chefs. I mean, Giada's got a restaurant there. I think it's in. It's not in Planet Hollywood. It might be in Planet Hollywood. Bobby Flay's got a restaurant there, Mesa Grill. So all these guys, I mean, we already said Gordon Ramsay has 5. Wolfgang Puck has several restaurants there. Everybody has a restaurant there. You mentioned Le Church, which is actually number 2 on TripAdvisor, and I forgot to say that when you said it.
That's awesome.
And I want to know if you've eaten at the number 1 fine dining restaurant on TripAdvisor. It's called Kabuto.
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's a sushi place.
Oh, yeah.
And it is the number 1 fine dining restaurant. So I haven't eaten there either. I don't eat sushi. I can always find something to eat, but I want my fish cooked.
Do you know where it is?
I don't.
Okay.
I did not look that up. It's number 1 for fine dining in Vegas. So we're going to try that next time we go. At least we're going to go and see the restaurant. And then the only other thing I really wanted to talk about was another mid-50s range on TripAdvisor. And again, there are about 2,000 restaurants there. So if you're in the mid-50s, you're a pretty good restaurant. Remember, Ruth's Chris was number 45.
Yeah.
But the Golden Steer Steakhouse, and we had an experience at the Golden Steer Steakhouse. Which rivals. The food was good. The steak doesn't. I've had better steaks, but the experience is maybe the best experience that I've ever had without my wife.
Nice. I'm glad you can experience that with me.
Yeah, it's the best experience I've had with 3 other guys.
Oh my gosh.
But Walton set this thing up, and it was. And should we say somebody else paid for it?
We can.
Walton set this thing up, and Troy paid for it. If anybody is offended by that, don't just forget I said it.
Yeah.
But it kind of is a treat to us. What a great friend.
Yeah, no doubt.
And what a great friend for setting it up, Walton. But it was, so I'm way into the Rat Pack. Troy's way into the Rat Pack. And we sat in the Sinatra booth. And so the story, awesome. It was really kind of cool because the maitre d' or manager or whatever he was would come when we got there. The only time we could get the booth was at 4:30 in the afternoon. And again, we're still on East Coast time, so we were okay going in at 4:30.
Yeah,
there was nobody in there. We pull up in this place. We have a Uber drive there, man. And this place looks like a really bad Chinese restaurant from the outside.
Yeah, that's closed down and it's in a strip mall. I mean, it looked rough. And to make it even worse, we had a terrible Uber driver who was rude as heck.
Yeah, the whole way.
So we're like already kind of starting off
not
on the
happy.
wrong foot.
And get out, and we say, "Oh God, this place." And we look at this place, and it looks like it's in a part of Vegas that you would not go in the dark. You would not go there.
Definitely.
And so we get out of the car, and they've got this big, giant golden steer outside. I said, "This is the cheesiest place ever."
I remember thinking, is this it? Are you serious?
So when we walk in, we were happy to find that there was nobody there, which is always a great sign for a restaurant. But it turns out that 4:30 was the only time that we could get the Sinatra booth. So we walked around and looked. They have a booth for everybody. They had a Sinatra booth, and then right beside it is the Dean Martin booth, and right beside that was the Sammy Davis Jr. booth. Yeah. And the story that the maitre d' came over and told us, because there was nobody there, he kept coming back and giving us these random stories, which are all great. There's only one casino in Las Vegas when they were doing the Rat Pack shows that was integrated, and they couldn't play down on the Strip and then gamble. And they couldn't eat together because none of the restaurants were integrated. So they would go to this restaurant and have a meal, and they would all have their booth right beside each other, and they would all have their girls and friends and whatever sitting at their booths, and then they'd all get up and go gamble at this one casino that was integrated, which is kind of a weird, interesting story to hear. And it was really neat to see all the history there. The food was good. The drinks were great. The atmosphere was off the charts.
Yeah. So, what's interesting is you and Troy love the Rat Pack. I mean, you love all that stuff. I can appreciate their music. I like it, but obviously I'm not on the same level that you are.
Obviously, on anything, you're not on
Yeah.
the same level as me.
Yeah, yeah. You can say that again. But I loved it. It was a great time, and I don't know if it was more. I was just so happy for you guys because it was so fun to watch you guys just get into it so much and just looking at the stuff. But I even enjoyed looking at it myself and just kind of the thought of the history there. But it was a fun night, fun evening.
How about the
good
story
food.
that the guy told us about Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
So he lives in Vegas, and whether or not this is true, it doesn't matter. We don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. But the maitre d' told us that Nicolas Cage was there the night before and ordered a meal for himself and ordered a meal for Charles Bronson. He sits in Charles Bronson's booth.
Yeah.
And he let Charles Bronson's meal sit there, who's dead, and he just ordered the meal and set it there. And he said, "Yeah, Nicolas Cage he's a little out there."
You know, we don't know if that's made up or not, but since it's Nicolas Cage, it's very believable.
Oh yeah, it was definitely believable.
But that was I mean, it was very fun. I mean, it was a good night. Again, the food was great, and especially when I was going into it and we pulled up, I was like, "Oh my goodness, this place is going to be rough."
Yeah, we got out of that.
What did we get ourselves into? But it was
good. Yeah, it was worth it. It was so good. So I think we're about ready to wrap this thing up. Before we do, I want to remind folks, hey, this is Why Would You Go There 2.0. So send us your video or recordings of yourself asking questions about Vegas. Tell us about your favorite spot. Not as much your favorite spot, even though we'd love to hear from you. We want to play your questions on air. So do both and we'll respond. But if you give us some questions about Vegas, the next podcast that comes out, at the top of that, we're going to play those and as best we can and answer as many as we can.
Yeah, we'd love to.
So what are your final thoughts?
So one other thing, we did Top Golf, and it was great. So if you've never done Top Golf, even if you're not a huge golfer, it was very fun. So
even if your arms are so big that you can hit the ball over the net into a car or into a car or into a what was that little clinic over there? There's a clinic over there.
What you're talking about?
Yeah. Even if you can do that, you should still try Top Golf.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Chances are you're not going to get over the net.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
but it was fun.
We had a great time.
So yeah, you should definitely go. So I wanted to point that out, but my final thoughts are, you know how I feel about Vegas. So I'll make my in summary as. Yeah, send us some stuff. You know, we'd like to hear from you. We want to kind of get more interaction, and we always love talking about traveling. So anything that you guys want to know or that you want to, just discuss, then just do it. And again, we're going to keep doing it because we love some traveling, and I love Vegas. It's fun, and it was good when you win some money, a good amount of money, and when you get upgred.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, it's always an upgrade when you're traveling with me.
Three
exactly.
Friends.
That's an upgrade. Anyway, it was a great trip. I'm going to end. I'm not going to do a final thoughts because my final thoughts would mimic yours. Go there.
Yeah.
It's great. I'm going to end with our motto, which is, it is better to go someplace that you hate than to not go any place at all. Get up and go to Vegas.
Do it.
Stay at one of these hotels. Try something new. Put some money down on the craps table and walk away with more. That's the way it works. Craps
exactly
always works that way. You put money down, roll dice, and you walk away with more money.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they can keep those games going. I don't know it.
That's exactly right.
All right, let's get out of here. Cue the music, Ben. We're done.
Man, that was fun. I love talking about Vegas.
I know you do.
It was so fun.
It was a great trip.
It was. Was it your favorite?
My favorite
of our trips.
Yeah, it was my favorite of our trips.
I agree. I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, it was my favorite of the trips that any of my work friends have gone. Any trip that I've gone on without my wife was my favorite trip.
Even with the Bellagio buffet debacle.
Yeah, it was that was a shock.
Yeah.
And Walt wanted to eat there, made me so disappointed.
I know. Well, I did too. I mean, it was so both of us.
Oh my gosh! I'm so glad that we ended with the golden steer instead of ending with that. If we didn't get that, we'd have been miserable.
They did have the good crab legs, though.
All right, I think I'm getting out of here.
All right, fun stuff.